Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Welcome back to the channel, Hijrah Tips and Advice. My name is Abu Idris, and we're going to talk about something that you need to know that's going to make your Hijrah trip easier and simpler to plan, and also discuss things that you should know before you go. One of the things that you're going to have to be very aware of is Arab culture. And that goes beyond just saying Assalamu alaikum or seeing a thobe and a niqab or a bayat or a kufi or a beard or spelling bukhur in the masjid. Arabic culture is very, very rooted in society. People are very attached to it. It's something that's very close to them. So before we go into one of the things that you're going to see, please do me a favor and hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell for the notification so you'll know when we post new videos. So the first thing you're going to see, and this is something that you're going to see among, some people say among Bedouins, but I have seen it amongst just your regular, normal Arabs. But I have seen it among Arabs who are very close to each other, or they like each other a lot. And one thing about friendship in the Gulf countries among Arabs, they value that almost as much as family. So friendships are very important to them. And when you make a friend in the Arabic world, in the Arab world, you pretty much have a friend. It's genuine. I always say, you know, when the Arab likes you, they like you. When they don't like you, they don't like you. There's nothing that people can say to change their mind, you know. So for one of the things you're going to see, and we might think it's a strange custom, and on the surface, it looks strange until you know why or what you're looking at. And that is, when Arabs are very, very close to each other, or they show as a sign of respect, extreme respect, they touch noses. They touch noses. I don't have another person here to do the nose, but they touch noses. This is amongst the men, okay? They touch noses. I've not seen the women do this, but I know that the men do it. The men do it. The boys do it. The teenagers do it, okay? It's something that you see, you know, for people who are very, very close to each other, or they have a high degree of respect amongst each other. This on the outside, because this kind of physical contact at the nose, it almost looks like, and I don't care what you see people say, what you hear people saying, it's not this. It looks like they're kissing. Because, I mean, like, you know, the nose is, the mouth is right under the nose. So if you're coming in like that, now there may be a bump on occasion, but it's not a kiss, trust me. It's just a, like that. Something that they do to, like, when they really close, they have a lot of respect for you, you know, or they honor you or something like that. Okay, they don't do it to the foreigners, okay, because they know the foreigners are not going to understand that. But they do it amongst themselves. They're not kissing you guys. I don't care what people tell you. I saw them, they were kissing you. No, you didn't. You didn't. You read that wrong. You read that completely wrong. Okay, Arab men don't kiss each other like that. Okay, that is just a way that they are showing their affection for each other, their respect for each other, and so forth. They are not kissing, but it's going to look extremely strange. No one's going to do it to you, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, but it does look very strange. It looks like they're kissing. Okay, but they're not. This is just something from the culture. Okay. Another thing you're going to experience in Arabic culture, and you have to really kind of, you know, there was a discussion in a group I was in, and people would ask, well, why can't, you know, the people in the Gulf countries, place your country here, do this like this and like this, and it would be better if they did this and like this. And the answer that I gave is that because that's not the way they do it. They do it the way they do it, and we have to accept that. Just like you would not accept anyone some foreigner coming into your country and telling you how you should do things, or seeing you move and groove throughout your community and tell you that's strange, that's wrong, why you doing it like that. You never accept that. You tell the guy, you know, go back to where you come from and apply that stuff. So one thing you had to understand about Arabic countries is that they don't have the degree of over sexualization like you find in the Western countries. Now, that could be just because they're conservative. It could be just because of the law. It could be a lot of things, but you just don't find that kind of lewdness with people dressing provocatively, and even amongst the women. Even in the current climate in the kingdom right now of Saudi Arabia, it hasn't degraded to that level. And that is because people are on their natural fitra. And then the natural fitra is for people to be reserved, be conservative, okay, in their dress, in their mannerisms, and things like this. So the way that they show affection to each other, we might look at it in a sexual content, but it really isn't. It's just a way they show affection to each other. One of the things, or the second thing we're going to cover, or that what I'm making reference to, is holding hands. The holding of hands. The men hold hands sometimes. Okay, there's nothing sexual in it. They're not gay. They're not on the low. They're not on some weirdo vibe. That if you have an Arab friend and he on occasion will talk to you and he will just hold your hand, or if you're walking, he'll just kind of reach over and just grab your hand. It's not a hand lock like this, like you would do with your wife, you know what I'm saying, or your husband. It's just kind of a loose kind of, I'm just holding my friend's hand. We're friends. I've seen the little boys do it. I've seen the teenagers do it. I've seen the girls do it. I see the boys do it. I've seen grown men and grown women do it. And it's been done with me. When people really like you, they just kind of just hold your hand. It's not you know what I'm saying? There's no affection. There's no, it's not rubbing and all that. There's no sexual content involved in that. It's just they really, really like you. And I will tell you this. If you are blessed to live in the Arab world for any length of time, you're going to really value the fact that you have people like this who really like you. Okay, and that's hard to come by. Genuine friendship and someone who genuinely likes you, that's very hard to come by, because it seems that nowadays everyone has an ulterior motive. Everybody has a reason for getting next to you, or wanting to get next to you, or giving you the facade that they are, that you're cool and all this other stuff, so that they can get to know you and run some kind of game on you. But from my experience, it's really not been like that, so these are genuine displays of affection where you just have that thing. And like I said, it might be just the two fingers, you just hold it. And it's not like you're walking 16 miles down the street holding each other's hands. It's just, this is my friend. I don't know how else to explain it. There's no sexual content to it. It doesn't mean anything, okay? And you would probably do well to just kind of roll with it, because you don't want to be offensive, Most of the time, if they're just meeting you or something like that, it probably is not going to happen. So that means that they've known you for a certain amount of time. They feel comfortable enough around you. They really like you. You know what I mean? Removing the fact that you're a foreigner, because when you're a foreigner, everyone is very interested in you. Where you come from, what's your backstory? How did you get here? What do you do? Where do you live? It's kind of, you're kind of like the new interest in the area, and then that will soon wear off. So as you start to frequent the masjid, and you're going there for the salat, and people start getting used to seeing you, because before you're just a new face, so you're just kind of blending in with everybody else, and you're not really standing out. And then one day, somebody will come to you and say, "Assalamu alaikum, how you doing? I've seen you in here a couple of times. Are you live in the area now? Just make it small chit chat, yeah, I just moved in. I'm at the house down the street. Okay, I hear you. Actually, you from America? Yeah, okay, like that. And there won't be a whole lot to it. You're not going to get the third degrees, the interrogation, all that. But you are new. You know what I mean? And a lot of the Jiran, the neighborhoods, are kind of close knit, and so everybody kind of knows everybody. You'll find that Arabs are known for just cousins. Everybody is somebody's cousin in the Arab world. And amongst the Africans too, I've seen this a lot. Lots of nieces and nephews, lots of cousins. They just one big giant family. You know what I mean? So when someone is coming into the neighborhood and they are, you already know this person's new. It's going to stir up some initial curiosity. Okay, don't take that to heart. Don't be offended. And that's the third thing we want to talk about. Sometimes Arabs can be what we perceive as very nosy. They may ask you things that from your culture or from the way that you grew up, it's not something that you really talk about. And I did have to kind of, get a brother. I had to kind of remind a brother, because he was just getting a little bit too close, like how much you're paying for the rent and where you're working at, and, how long you've been there and what's the salary like, and he was just getting a little bit too much. So I, very politely, I had to say, I really don't want to answer that, well, why not? And it's a why not, like in a, not a, well, why not? It's just like a, Why not? We just talk it like that. And I said, because where I come from, we don't really make a habit of asking people how, or, personal things like that. We don't ask each other how much money you make and how much rent. Those are just things in my culture that we just don't discuss. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And they really don't mean any harm. They really don't. They're just interested in you. That's all. They're just very interested, especially if you are an American Muslim and you are, and I hate to use this expression. If you, I hate to use this expression. If you are a person of color, let's just put it like that, especially if you're black, they are really, really interested in you because in their mind, all of their exposure thus far to Americans has really been TV and movies. I mean, really, that's pretty much it. I mean, they may see a few here and there. They may see a few in town. They may run into one in the grocery store, but they don't really know them. They don't really know them. So when they come to meet somebody that's like in their neighborhood, it's like, whoa, okay, we got an American in our neighborhood. Are you from America? Like really? Like actually? Or, and that brings us to our third point. So just a quick recap. The touching of the noses is a sign of extreme respect and honor. Okay, they're close to each other. The holding of hands is a display of, affection for my friend. This is my friend. I'm just holding his hand. We might take 6 or 7 steps, then we just let each other's hand go and we just talking or whatever. Or he might hold my hand for a while after the salam, like we do. We do this in our countries, in our normal countries, where we just extend the salam and we're shaking each other's hand. And we just, we're talking, how's the family, how's the kids, we still are holding each other's hand. Same thing, same thing. The third thing is, they get a little bit personal. They get a little bit what we think is nosy, but they really just want to know about you. And then the last thing I would say for this video, because I don't want to go too long, is the, I think I lost it. There's actually 2, but I'll just give you 1. You will see the younger people. And what I mean by younger, I mean young as in the person that this is being directed to is older than them and they have some respect for them. So they will kiss them on the forehead. Okay. Just a little peck, on the forehead, when they meet them. So you see the children, they do this to the older, to their aunties or, their uncles. The boys do it to their uncles. The boys will do it to their fathers. He may get a kiss on the forehead with his auntie, with his mom. It's just a show of respect, honor. A lot of honor, a lot of respect. And sometimes you might get offended by that, especially, again, if you come from a country where there's a lot of sexual connotation, everything is not hypersexualized in the Arab world. Now, am I saying that there is no sexualization at all? Let's not be naive. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's nowhere near the level that we have in our countries. Nowhere near the level. Okay. And so there's nothing perverted or anything like that to it. It's just the way that people show affection. Okay, so you have to understand that when you see that, and don't get taken aback by that. In closing, I had a student who I was teaching in Kuwait, high school student, and our staff room opened up into the main hallway. So I have a policy that if I find a phone, I'm taking it, period. So if I tell you don't bring the phone in class, and you bring the phone in class, I'm going to take the phone and then I'm going to give it back to your mother or father when they come, because I will make your mother or father come to the school and I will give them the phone in their hand. So that way they know that you brought this phone and you were told not to do that. So this is the case of what happened. The student was not a necessarily bad student. He wasn't. He probably just made an error, Then I had the phone in my desk, and I had the phone for about a day. And his parents were like, okay, I've been trying to call you. Why don't you have your phone? So when I took the phone, he was like, I really, it's not going to be good for me if I go on without this phone. Please, can you just, please? He's, wallahi, I promise I won't bring it. I promise. And they make a lot of promises, but, you play that on case by case basis, and he was like, look, he said, I know, Mr. Abu Idris, I know, I'm so sorry. I know what you said. I really just forgot. And he made his case, and he said, well, I promise. And he gave me a little peck on the forehead, I said, okay, take your phone. There was nothing sexual behind that. You know what I mean? He's not trying to get next to me. He's not flirting with me. He's showing like, I really respect you and I'm really being honest with you. I just forgot that you said no phones. It was really a mistake. It's not going to happen again. And it never happened again after that, So just some things that you're going to see that might kind of put you off a little bit. You know, some of this might be directed at you as you stay there longer. Some of it probably will not, and you probably won't experience any of that. But if you see it, don't think anything negative about that. Don't think anything that is, you know, strange from a, you know, from a like I said, like a sexual connotation standpoint. It's not that. It's just that this is the way that Arabs show their love and their affection towards each other. So that's it, you guys. If you got benefit from the video, please like and subscribe and share on the other platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like that, so that other people can find the videos on here and just and benefit from them, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.